just going to interrupt Ice T, don't worry about it. So, Ice, we wanted to hear about your story of taking your brand so many different places and so many different genres across your career. How do you go from your early movies to your documentary to your podcast to books? How do you make that transition happen?
Okay, so that's what we're talking about. All right. You going to stand right there? Okay. All right. Anyway, basically, they gave me the call. They said, Ice, you want to come to my TSC show? We're going to talk about. Usually what I talk about when I do lectures is I do like basically motivational speaking. So I came in here and I sat up at the top and I watched what everybody was saying. And I said, okay, now I figured out why I'm here. Because I've actually done this shit, okay? I've actually what you're trying to figure out how to do, I was able to do it. Now, you got to remember that where I come from, okay? I came out of the streets. I'm a hustler. That's what I was doing. I was robbing banks. I was stealing things, okay? So that business you have to be good at. If you're not good, you get shot, okay? It's not like the business that you're going to get into. So my business sense is like a spidey sense. If I detect anything, it could either be prison or death. Okay? Now, take those guys, those same guys, those Jay-Z's, those 50 Cents, all those cats, and you give them a legit chance to make money, and this is called hip-hop. And all of a sudden, we're in the business, but we're coming from another business. So y'all following me right now? We're coming from another business. Rappers were the first instant promoting vehicles that ever happened in film. People didn't used to do movies and say, you know, I'm John Wayne and I work with this studio, or, you know, I'm on Warner Brothers Records. But rappers, what did we do? Yo, Def Jam Records, we were promoting. As soon as we came out, we were branding. We were branding from the moment. Puffy is the biggest branding. Everything he said, bad boy, bad boy, bad boy. But everyone used to be afraid to self-brand. Back in the day, no one would talk about themselves. But us being kids, coming out the hood, we're like, well, if we don't promote ourselves, who will? Now, let's go back to drugs. They just, the actor that just died, what's his name? The drugs had a brand on it. Right? Right? Why do the drug dealers brand their products? Because what you're trying to do with a brand is you're trying to say, this is the best. Whatever I'm saying is the best. What is Ice-T's brand? I just hit you with it. Blatant honesty. Right? I came right out the gate and said, this is what Ice-T is. Every time we listen to Ice, he's going to tell us the truth. Right? I've been working that my whole career. This is what I am. You say, okay, well, is it gangster rap? Is it this? Is it that? I've read his books. He tells the truth. It's just straight and raw. So that's the brand. So now when you're coming out the gate, your objective with your brand is like to say, okay, this is what we are, and in one word, you know what it means. When you say Google, you say, I can find anything using Google. It's one word and it means that. When you say a certain thing, okay, that Dunkin' Donuts, that's good. You know, your brain connects to that. Now, you guys are coming from nowhere. You don't have them. What is your brand? You don't know. It's difficult to get people to pick up a brand like they've never heard it before. So like one of the gentlemen was saying, connecting to another brand is very important. It's like this, it's like this, it's like this, but it's better. It's better. That's the key. Now, another thing the reporter was saying, press is important, but press is basically free publicity. It's free publicity. Coca-Cola doesn't need press. They buy publicity. See, they don't need press. They buy it. They can put the ads out there. When you're new, you need the reporters because they'll give you a story. And that story is kind of like an interview about my record that's coming out. Well, that interview didn't cost me any money, but you learned that my record is coming out. So that's why the press is important. But the press, you got to use it correctly because, like he said, if they catch you playing them, they'll turn on you. And then you got a problem you never had before. You got the press after you. So if you don't have money, you can't buy publicity. You have to use the press, or you have to use social media and all this kind of stuff, which is complicated. So the best way for me to explain this is, okay, so here comes Ice-T, he's coming out. The worst and the best thing that ever happened to me, which pushed me out there, was Cop Killer. Okay? When I'm at home, I'm making records, I'm doing okay. We're selling gold records, everything's good. I got my little brand going. And all of a sudden, I'll take you back, I'm playing Techno Bowl. and my boy said, yo, Ice, the president is on TV talking shit about you. So we were like, what? Are you serious? Are you serious? So we changed the channel, and it wasn't the president, it was Dan Quayle, the vice president. And he said, and Ice-T this, and he should be tried for sedition. Now, have you ever had one of them oh shit moments where you just like, so we're in the house like this is all us. We ain't got no guns, we ain't trying to kill nobody. We're playing techno. We're like, oh shit, president. Oh shit, this was not a good moment for us, we weren't happy. We were like, yo, because what happens when the president gets mad at you? This is the ultimate publicity. But if the president can get mad at you, immediately the world knows who you are, because the president doesn't talk about small-time people. When the president says, and Ice-T, you're fucked if he's not happy about you. And those things are saved for people that have countries and those people that do bad things. And he said something about me. Now, immediately what happens, you get investigated by the FBI to see all the initials come to check and see if you're doing anything. Why? Say Barack Obama, what's your name? Stephanie what? Rowe. Stephanie Rowe. And Obama says, and Stephanie Rowe, God damn it. Okay, now. That next second, we're talking about press, we're talking about being branded. That next second, every one of these agencies does the most deep, thorough check that ever happened to Stephanie Rowe, because his next question could be, what do we know about her? It can't be like, she's at MIT. It got to be like her blood type is this, her mother is this is that, this is what she owns, this is... So, don't fuck with the president, okay? But, in that one moment, Ice-T got known, okay? So now I'm known. So now I got to backpedal because everybody hates me. They're after me. I'm a bad guy at that time. Warner Brothers dropped the movies. Everything went backwards and stuff. And I've been fighting. Now, I've been in this game now, being on Law and Order, 15 years, right? Thank you. Pretty much swimming upstream. Because every time I get going good, I fuck it up. Because I'm honest. Chuck D says Ice-T is the only person I know that does things that totally jeopardizes his entire career to stay awake. Okay, so me, everything is going good, and I just go, fuck that, it's no fun though. I gotta do some shit. Now I'm not like Kanye, I don't just say dumb crazy shit. I try to say something that means something that you may not understand later. Now, one thing else I want to talk to you about is in business, is it a charity or is it a business? That's one thing you got to understand with your brand, too. When people come to me, I'm like, well, is this a charity or a business? Now, if it's a business, I want a return. Right? Right? First thing I'm going to do, when you sit down with me with your brainstorm and you want to make some, I'm going to say, how's this going to make me some money? Because like my man says, I don't give a fuck about what you're trying to do. What's important to you isn't important to me. I don't care. You're trying to save kids in Somalia. I don't give a fuck. That's not my problem. Baby seals, go do it. Why do you need me? You want me? Then you either got to get me into your charity or you got to make me some money. That's all I care about. Why? Because with money, I can do what the fuck I want. Right? So you got all these brands, you got all this. When you start to make your move and you start to talk to business people, they're going to say, how is this going to make me some money? If it doesn't, you come in there, oh, well, even with a record, this album is going to change. They don't care. The record label says, if I put this out and I give you this much money, what is my return? And if you don't return, they will fire you. They will come after you for their money, just like the streets. So we knew how to bring a return. Let me give you a quick, even though this isn't a total business class, I'll give you a quick business class, real quick. You come to me and you say, Ice-T, I need $500. I'm like, I give you $500. A week later, 2 weeks later, you give me back $700. I didn't ask for $700, but you give me back $700, right? Next week you come to me and say, Ice, I need $2 grand. Got that. Give you $2 grand. When it's come back, you give me $2,500. I didn't ask for it, you give it to me. Next time you can come for 10. After 10, I give you 10, you give me back 14. Now you can borrow my car, and you can also stay in my summer pad. You understand what I'm saying? You have to understand that as you make in business, as you bring that return, business gets better. And don't ever fuck over the person that gives you some money. When I give you some money, no, this is real. The person that gives you money, you fuck over them. You know, your friends, even in personal life. The person that loans you some money, that's a person that loans you some money. Don't ever ruin that relationship. You dig? So let me explain to you. I'll give you one little method of how we branded my wife, Coco. We got into the game, and like we said, this wasn't a charity. I was not in this to like say, okay, we're just going to give you something to do so that you can have something to do. I got friends that like, I bought my wife a restaurant just to keep her busy. You know? She lose money though, but that's a charity. Are we doing charity or are we doing business? We're doing business. So I said, okay, what do you know? And I watched a business made thing, and the guy said, hey, you know what? If you start a business, always go for the lowest hanging fruit. Go for something that's just really familiar to you if you're going to start. So she was a model. So I said, okay, you're a model, but you just don't model to model. You have to model to one point be promoting your own stuff. You know what I'm saying? So she took her modeling, turned that into fitness, which is, you know, basically this is how I got to this modeling shape. And then we became aware that in a woman's world, men don't spend money on women things. Men don't buy Beyonce's album. Men don't buy Whitney. Men don't care about that stuff. Men will look at you, say, yeah, I'd like to hit it, but they're not going to spend no money. Who spends money on women things? Women, right? So slowly what she did with her brand was transfer it from men looking at her to women befriending her. So she went from 80% men and 20% women to now 85% women and 15% men. This was a plan because at the end of the day, we ain't doing charity. We trying to get to some money. So what she did is she moved it around like this. The reality show helped a lot. Reality shows are basically commercials. That's all they are. You know, every scene, you're like, hey, so what you doing? What you cooking? Oh, yeah, you know my book's coming out. You're promoting it all times on that shit. It's on a reality show just for the fuck of it. You're dumb. You see the guys with West Coast choppers. You see how big that building is they own now. You see Cake Boss and all that. Reality shows are basically commercials, perpetual commercials. Every scene, I'm telling you, I got something coming out. I got something, you know. So you're branding, and you're branding. Now, what Coco has done has changed her brand from, okay, I'm that sexy girl, to girls, I'm that sexy girl. I've proven I got your man to look at me. Let's talk shop. I'm not your enemy. Let's go to the gym together. Let's buy clothes together. And it's working. Her new fitness app came out. It was #1 on iTunes. And it's selling. Why? Because she created something and kept it going. She kind of created her own celebrity. You know, Coco ain't no real celebrity. She just got a big booty. You know what I'm saying? But girls want to get a little booty, and there's a market there. You know, so she's selling that. All right? So my whole thing...
He's relaxing right
My
now.
whole thing is, like my man said, niche. What are you selling? What are you promoting? Focus on it, and then figure out how you're going to monetize that at the end of the day. Like, I'm looking at a lot of these things on the internet, and I'm like, how are they going to monetize that? They got a lot of people on it, but how are they going to monetize that? You know, because I know it's not charity. Somebody's going to get paid at some point. No one's doing it for their health. You know, what is the dude just want to make 16 billion? What was that shit?
What's that?
I mean, how do you get, I mean, why wasn't it 14 billion? What's the difference? 16, how did you negotiate 16 billion? Why not, the numbers fuck me up. When you get that high, I'm like, why wasn't it 15 billion? No, it's got to be 16, motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? But they have to have something that's valuable. And you know, my main thing I want to say is whatever you're trying to brand has to be good. It has to be good. Because what really brands is quality. It's like it has to be really, really good, and then it'll go. I think one of the other speakers said, if it's really good, and a lot of your stuff ain't good, I hate to say it, but it might get good. I heard another guy say before, he said, a lot of times you start out with an idea that morphs into another idea, that morphs into another idea, that turns out to be good. Sometimes your first ideas aren't good. Accept that. Accept that. But if it's really, really good, it's going to sell, and it's going to move. It's like we said in the music business, nothing can stop a hit record. Nothing. If it's hot, it's just going to start. It's going to start morphing and doing this thing. So if you have a quality product or a quality service, you can't stop it. You can't stop it. It's gonna do its thing. Now, what the person that you're going to try to brand connect to is going to see is not your idea, but are they going to make money? Are they going to make money? If you take money out of the equation, you need to forget about it, because that's all that matters. It's all about money. And I teach kids this in schools. I tell them all the time. They're like, oh, man, but my idea, my heart. I'm like, fuck your heart. Nobody cares about your heart. Nobody cares. It's a cold world. No one cares about what you want to do but you. So you get your money, and then you can do... Danny Pino, you guys watch Law and Order? Yeah. Okay, he wants to direct. He wants to direct. And he got his heart broke because they let Mariska direct, and he couldn't direct. I'm like, man, fuck directing. I said, you are making a lot of money on Law and Order. Take that money, and then you make your own movie. Don't get caught up. Just use what, you know, Orson Welles didn't like acting. He directed so that he could act. You know, so you know, I'm rambling here, but I know I'm dropping some jewels here somewhere. I'm kind of going to keep me in the room. I'm learn a lot of shit. Let me let her answer some questions, and then we'll just keep going. Because, you know, I'm so excited to be at MIT. You know, I would never be
So the first question is, going back to your example of the president, vice president, are mentioning your name on TV, and you know you're in trouble.
Right. Not always good press. People say bad press is good. No. Bad press is bad press.
So how do you get that level of discipline in your mind to be able to go and keep building your brand from that? Because a lot of the young people in the audience are going to have setbacks. Not to that level, but they're going to have setbacks.
Oh, well, you know, they got Newton. What's the law? Anything you can't go wrong with? What's that?
You'll go wrong.
Okay, ISIS law. Everything is gonna go wrong.
Yeah.
There's not anything that will. No, everything is gonna go wrong. That's part of just. You just gotta get used to it. Like business is basically just reconstructing the fuck ups of everyone you got working for you. It's like everyone is constantly messing up. It's just so much chaos. And if you're not cut for that, you got to get out, because it never goes right. It's never, you know, when they say if you want anything done right, you got to do it yourself. That's because other people just don't see your vision. And I always looked at business like a gang. Okay? You have to have different people. Everybody can't be the tough guy. So you got to have your nerd team over here that knows how to handle that stuff. You got to have your PR people that are good conversationalists. You got to got people that are good in front of the camera. You got to have this team of people to operate. And all businesses have them. They got the people that talk. They go out and do the talking. You know, you got the people in the back that are good with the numbers, that hold the company together. You can't just, you got to get a team, you know? So everybody in this room has a place in a team of any business. It's just which position you play.
So how do you do the reset? So you talked about also
how do you reset?
Getting set, not your whole presentation, no. But when you get up to the point and you're making money and things are going well and your business is going well, I don't think you're the only one by any stretch that says, I'm going to throw a wrench in it for whatever reason. I'm going to make it interesting. I'm going to push it another direction. How do you reset yourself to get back on track with your projects when you see it's going awry?
You don't start drinking. I mean, it's devastating. I mean, you know, the bigger you are, the harder you fall. Like, you'll lose. I mean, if it could be small, you could lose $1,000. It could be big, you could lose millions. I mean, I think that's just, you just have to have that fortitude to just say, hey, everybody takes a loss, and I can't let this end what I'm doing. You just gotta, I think the key is knowing that the loss is part of the game. Knowing that. If you think you're not gonna take a loss, you're sadly mistaken. Here's a good example. I bought some real estate and in Florida. I lost maybe $500,000 because the shit went upside down. I called my guy up and I'm like, dude, I bought this real estate. I thought I was gonna make some money. He said, Ice-T, I lost $48 million. See, so I got off the phone with him. I'm like, so it's not just a win. I think that's the key. Your answer is, it's not just a win. You will take those losses. It's all about recovery time. It's not about, sometimes you just gotta get rid of all that and say, you know, that was a bad idea, you know, but we're still smart. We can come up with good ideas. You know, look around you at your people and say, you're not really helping, you know, you gotta go, you're my friend, but, you know, just be ready to take the hits. We all take hits. Everyone's gonna take a hit. It's hard. Question?
So what sort of things do you do for self-investment? Like any hobbies or things that you're using to build up skills?
Investments are difficult because investment is gambling, you know?
Well, more so, like, are books on, like, scheduling, or do you read books on, like, personal finance, or do you read books on, like, are things that you do to continue?
I don't read as many books as I try to connect myself with people that have that information. You know, like if I met me, I'd be trying to suck my brain dry, you know? So when I'm around people, like if I'm around real estate people, I'm that guy that just asks questions. I ask a lot of questions because it's kind of like if you ever tried to read a computer book to teach you how to run the computer, it's so hard, you know? Where if someone else can just demonstrate it to you, it's easier. So I just look for those teachers and stuff. But, you know, the word investment itself scares me to death because as many people as become rich from investments have become broke from investing. So sometimes it's better just to pillowcase that. You know, hold on to what you got.
When you're looking at your upcoming projects, because one of the reasons that we wanted to bring you to Small Bites and Apps and to MIT and such an innovative community is they're always on what's next. And what we like about you and your brand is you're always at what's next. No other rappers are doing podcasts. So you say, I'm going to do a podcast.
Right.
How do you find out about those trends? How do you choose what to go after?
You got to hang around young people. You got to keep like some 17 and 20-year-old kids around you. Real talk. Dr. Dre told me that. Dr. Dre says, yo, man, you know, you got to keep a group of kids around you at all times because they're way ahead. You know, they know things, you know. And Quincy Jones also taught me, he said, you know, the only way you're going to fail is if you fight the future. He says, you got to just kind of open up to the future. The good old days were just that. They were the good old days, but now you're in another day, every day. So you got to kind of find out what fits you, and everything doesn't fit you. Like right now, there's so many social medias out there. I'm only on one. I'm not even on Facebook. You know, I only got one because I only want people to be able to find me at one place. I don't want them to be able to find me here. This is where I'm at. If you want to find me, you got to come right here. That way I only got to say the shit once. You know, if y'all want to find me, I'm at Final Level on Twitter. But see, hip-hop, promote. Don't give a fuck. We just promote. All right, so, I listen. But then another gentleman said, I got to find what fits in for me. So a lot of things like, you know, YouTube channel, I'm like, But then the podcast came along. And I'm like, I like podcasts because if I'm on the radio right now, if you don't see it, if you're not on the radio right now, you won't hear it. So that's not as good. But the podcast, it's like me making hour-long albums. And they last forever, and one day there'll be a group of them, there'll be volumes of it. And it'll be Ice-T talking, raw, just raw, saying anything I want. It's uncensored, unedited, and it's really the best place for me to be. Because people that listen to my music or watch me on TV don't really get to see this Ice-T y'all get. They get it fucked up. They think I'm the police. They don't. They're just, you know. So to be able to just be me, raw, is beautiful for me. You know.
So when you have young people pitching ideas to you, or business people pitching ideas to you, they want to get you involved in a project. How do you tell if they're legitimate? What sells you?
Oh, I got a lot of ways of doing that.
Because I know you've talked a lot about showing and proving versus talkers.
One thing we do, well, first off, usually in a business meeting, I'm betting on the person. So the idea isn't as much as important as that person. I'm going to look at you like, are you a winner or a loser? Are you a shammer, a faker? What really are you? Maybe, and if I'm like talking to this girl, I'm like, this chick's a winner. You know, you can feel it, like this person's a winner, or this person's a loser, or this person's a fake. That's what I'm betting on. Now, the second thing on is this going to make some money? Now, your whole idea could be like, okay, we're going to do this, and in a year, it's going to make $10,000. That might not be on my ratings right then. You can't go to Donald Trump with that idea, because that doesn't hit his radar. He needs a lot more money to make him interested. You dig what I'm saying? So that's one of the ways. Another business trick I always do is this escrow game I play. You want to know this one?
Of course.
People like to talk like, oh, yeah, you're going to get in this business deal. Or, you know, I promise you it'll make you $1 million. You're going to make $1 million this year. $1 million. Now, here's the key. When anyone ever tells you something, if they're in a business deal and they say easy, get out of the deal. There's no easy way to make money. So it's going to be easy. Okay, gotcha. He said easy. You're a liar. No easy way to make money. If there was an easy way, you wouldn't need me. Go make it. Why am I here? Right? So then they said, we're going to make $1 million guaranteed. I said, well, since we're going to make $1 million guaranteed, why don't you put $300,000 of that in an escrow account for me, just so I know you're serious, you know? And we'll see, you know, and maybe we can give that to me now, and we'll make it recoupable against the $1 million you're so sure we're going to make. Well, you know, we don't, you know, I mean, well, then why you keep saying? So sometimes asking people to put their money up shuts them down. Did anybody just see the, what was that movie, American Hustle? You see that? You see what De Niro said? We're going to put up this money. You're going to put up this money. And homie start backpedaling. And he said, you know who we are. So sometimes asking someone to bring money to the deal shuts it down real quick and makes them backpedal really, really quick. Even if you say, hey, okay, I'm going to put up this much, you put up this much, it shuts the deal down. They backpedal quickly. Money really cuts to the chase.
So the other one then...
It does.
So the other thing people are looking at and have this as a challenge, they're young, they want to go after their goals, and they're tempted to create whatever is out there already. They're seeing Facebook, they're seeing it make money, they want to make the new Facebook. They're seeing the WhatsApp, they want to make that, instead of looking at what are they going to create.
It's too late. You gotta, like my buddy Cool Keith said, you gotta look what everybody else is doing and don't do that. You know, I think that if you want to be creative or an entrepreneur, find out what you need that's not there. You know, look at yourself and your life and say, what do I really need that's not there? What do I wish was out there? That's a good way to start if you're an inventor or if you're trying to come up with something. I wouldn't do anything anybody else is doing. I mean, if you're going to start on something that somebody already else did, you're already like 10 years behind. You know, so you have to definitely try get on the forefront. That's one thing that gets me into the business, though. I like it when somebody says, we'll be the first. I'm into being the first. We'll be the first. That's a good hook word for me. Okay, question? Yes, sir.
So you talked a little bit about your social media brand. How do you feel you best engage with your social media audience and balance the stuff that you put out versus the stuff that you know, you want to sell your album or have them watch SVU versus the stuff that...
You got to balance it.
Yeah.
You got to balance, especially on Twitter, because Twitter, people don't like it if you're just promoting because they think that it's a PR person. So you got to kind of like, you know, give them a little bit of personal stuff and then hit them with something. You know, my fan base is so diverse, you know, because I got Bodyguard fans, I got rap fans, I got SVU fans, I got different people, so gamer fans. So I have to, that's why the podcast, I have to break it up and talk to each one of them individually. You know, it's one of those things where, and Twitter is not an end all. This social media is not an end all to promotion. People are, well, just tweet it. You got to remember, like a lot, if some on that particular format, if somebody's following like 1,000 people, that message goes, it goes down their timeline so fast. If they're not looking at it that split second, it's gone. Right. So it's people will just tweet it. You know, so what if I got 1 million? It doesn't matter. Those 1 million people did not see it. It just happened and it's gone. You know. So and Coco's got more people than me anyway, but she looks better than Baby. So. Question.
Oh, can you just say too, for all the people out there that are starting, everybody who's trying to do anything is going to encounter haters.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you talked a whole podcast pretty much about this on your Final Level podcast, but you had a really great attitude about haters hating up and how if you're trying to do anything, somebody else is going to say something about it and how to use that to motivate you instead of bringing down.
Hate is a byproduct of love. If someone loves you, then someone else is going to hate you. Just ask Jesus, you know? It's one of those things where, you know, like I said in the podcast, if I say I like Allen Iverson as a basketball player, one person in here is going to say he sucks, even if it's just to be opposite the rest of the people. Now, people that will dislike you, but if you notice, people that hate is there's two types of hate. One is just blatant hate, like religious hate and all that kind of stuff. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the new slang hate, which means envy. You know, the person that's envious of you. But you never hate anyone above you. I mean, below you. You don't walk by a girl that's not doing as well as you would hate her. It's that girl that's doing something that you think you should be in her position. There's some way she got there, and you're so envious of her, and you're mad. I don't like her shoes. I don't like her hair. It's just basic good old jealousy, you know? So that comes with the terrain. I actually have a clothing line called Powered by Hate, which is called like using, you know, this is branding. I'm branding again. Meaning use hate as your motivation. You know, you don't want to go to the gym, go on YouTube, see somebody talking shit about you, and then go to the gym. You know, use that, because hate is a really good motivator. When someone tells you you ain't gonna make it, yeah, you know, put that picture on the refrigerator. And look at them every day. Yeah, motherfucker, watch this, motherfucker. So when I come out with this thing called Powered by Hate, immediately says that's bad, but then it's good, then you feel stupid because it is good, and then you like it. That's game. So you're talking your head up. That's how it works. It can't just be powered by love. That's not cute enough. You know? We're marketing here. We're coming up with something clever. Okay, but no, man, don't worry about the haters, man. Tell them the kid rocks. Go on with that bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Your fans, or the people that are with you, they insulate you from the hate. You know, the people that love you, they insulate you. So when those negative people are saying your fans are like, you know, I don't care about them. And in my business, in the entertainment business, your fans are like an army. You know, Lady Gaga got millions of them. They like, you know, you say something about Lady Gaga, they'll come to your house. So as you build your fan base and you get that fan base following you and you get them entrenched with you, if some blogger makes a mistake and says something about you, you don't have to open up. The fans attack. They'll plow. You crazy? You just talking about Ice T? You know, like somebody might write something bad about me today, and all of y'all will attack. Plow. What are you talking about? You know, I'll be on the plane somewhere. I won't even know. But the fans, they take off. So that's why you got to keep your fan base strong, and then, you know, and don't lie to them, and be honest to them, keep them down with you. You know, I love this. Question.
I know that you brought up one key point saying not to necessarily look to find a way to put up the money, but you'll always ask the person will put up this amount. But how do you get an investor to put up 100%? Because in the music industry,
100%?
100%. Because in the music industry, they're betting on your ability to your talent to get the return back.
Right.
So how do you put yourself in that position where
you just got to have a hell of an idea. You really got to make me, like I said, if you want me to put up 100%, see, first off, I'm not coming to you. The person coming should always pay. If I ask you to go out to dinner, I should be taking you out to dinner, right? So if you coming to me with my idea, this ain't my idea, it's your idea. And then you want my money, you got to blow my mind. You gotta hit me with something that I'm like, this is a gold mine. This is crazy. You have no investment but your idea. You know, you see Shark Tank, they want to take it all. Hey, I'll give you 5% of your shit back. You want my money? You get 5% of your shit. They, you know, and it's cold like that because they're taking the risk. Always, you know, I'm a good friend with Shaquille O'Neal, and Shaq used to always tell me, people would come to him and say, Shaq, I got an idea to make you some money. He's like, you know, you have an idea to make you some money. You know, I got money, you know? Bringing the idea to me, you know? So it's one of those things where you have to humble yourself. You know, I think that's one of the keys when you're dealing with people in power is knowing how to humble yourself, you know, because it is also a power and ego thing. So if you come up to me like, yo, Ice, man, you know, I got this and this is what you need to get into, I'm like, you trying to stand toe-to-toe with me and you ain't got no money. That doesn't work. But if you say, yo, look, man, I know, you know, you man and I'm trying to, you know, you come in. No, but this is real talk. This is life. This is life. You know, you humble yourself to that person you need something from, and then they go, you need a little help, huh? All right, I mean, you know, and then their ego works. But if you walk up, even a wife, if you walk up to your man, you gonna buy me that car. Like, nigga, you ain't bitch, you ain't getting shit. But if she says, oh, baby, I seen this car I like, and it's cute, I'm like, you want me to buy it, huh? You ain't spending your own money, huh? I see all this boo-booing going on. I like how it's happening. I get that for you. You know, so you gotta know what you're doing. You can't just stand toe-to-toe with your idea so big and think someone is going to give you 100%. No, that's difficult. Question?
So I have like a list of questions.
Go on, I'm here. I mean, I got nothing to do.
But I know she has time.
Yes, who's the next talker?
You're the last talker.
Oh, well, then let's have a good time.
Let's save the questions to
gonna
the
vent you.
Okay, well, let her do something. Because I'm learning, too, as you guys ask the questions. I'm learning what y'all want to know,
So
which is important.
one of the things you mentioned about transitioning through your career is building connections and how important that's been
Yes.
to have a diverse set of connections. So
Yes.
if you could talk about meeting someone like Dick Wolf and how that's changed your life, or having a friend introduce you to your wife,
Okay, Dick
and
Wolf.
how those move you through your career.
Dick Wolf, simple. I had Fab Five Freddy. I don't know how old you are, but Fab Five Freddy was one of my partners. So he was in LA talking. And Andre Harrell, who used to be one of the producers on New York Undercover, was on the phone. And Andre Harrell said, yo, see if Ice will be on New York Undercover. And I was on my shit then. I'm like, nah, man, I'm a movie star, man. I don't do TV, man. Y'all kidding me like that. So then they hit me with the black thing. Oh, you too big now, huh, Ice? I'm like, all right, dude, give me a bad guy role and I'll do it. Because So I just got New Jack City playing a cop. So I was like, so they gave me this guy named Danny Up. I don't know Dick Wolf. So I do the show. My work got Dick Wolf's attention. You follow me? When I'm saying the product was good. So they put me on there for one episode, and then by the end of the episode, they were supposed to kill me. I get a call from Dick Wolf. He says, we don't want to kill you. Would you stay around and do another episode? I'm like, y'all don't pay me enough to stay around to do another episode. Because when you do those shows, you only get they have a set rate for the actors that come on. I don't care who it is, there's a set rate so that they can't negotiate. Say it's $10,000 for the episode. That's all you get. I don't care how big you are. When they come on as guest stars, they get a set rate. So I was like, that's not enough money, man. I'm in New York. I'm having problems. I got a bad hotel. So he said, oh, well, here's some industry shit. Okay, let me figure this out. Now, when they say that, that means they about to come back with some bullshit or something. You know, so what he does, he comes back and he says, we can't raise your rate, but we can perk you. They put me in the Four Seasons Hotel in a suite. They got me a limo that stayed with me the whole time I was there, and they paid for my buddy's room. This is how they were able to keep me there without paying. So now I'm meeting Dick Wolf. I'm like, okay, Dick Wolf's gangster. I see his get down. So we did 3 episodes on that. They liked my work. He asked me to do Swift Justice. He asked me to do Law and Order, the Law and Order Exile. Every time we did a show, they got the reports back. People liked Ice-T. Now, the funny thing about my career is my rap fan base matured into my Law and Order fan base. You see? So all the people that were hip-hopping with me, they grew up, now they have kids, and now they're watching Law and Order. So I still have my same fan base. I just matured along with them. You see what I'm saying? If I was still rapping to the kids, I would be out of my zone. Right? So, right. All y'all was there with us, Run DMC, back in the day. Now you grew up, and so I did a television show with Dick Wolf. Now I have a relationship. I've been on 3 of his shows. And I went in there and I said, I have an idea for a show called Players. Players was a show I did with Costas Manuel and Frank Hughes. It was on 1 season. So I went in there and I said, I got an idea for a show. This is me going into the men. Yo, Dick Wolf, I got an idea for a show. He said, every actor, like say, should have their own show. Okay. But this is the idea. So I pitched my idea to him. He was like, that reminds me of 18. 18 saved NBC. You mind if I move it around, change it around? Good example. When the boss asks, can you move your idea around? Say, yeah. Yeah, because he's investing, you follow me? So he said, you mind if I change it around, your idea? No, go, I'm cool. I just want to get a deal. So he said, okay. So about a month later, I got a call and he says, I'm on the airplane with Warren Littlefield. You just got a show. You got greenlit. Bam. That show went for a season. When that show was over, he told me, Ice-T, I wish I had a better vehicle for you. Because, I like your work ethic. I'm like, cool. Then I got the call for SVU about 3 years later. And he only wanted me for 4 episodes. It's been 15 years. But the man don't like me. He likes the money I'm bringing in. Now we're going to turn this back into pimping. Pimps don't fall in love, they make love. Okay? The boss don't fall in love, he makes you think he loves you. He put his arm around, but he's just, in turn, what you're bringing in. Whatever money you're bringing in, this is how they turn on who lets love more. Right? So, like when I say pimps don't fall in love, strippers don't fall in love. They make love. They make you think they like them and you pay. So you're in the business. They don't love you. He doesn't love me. He loves the money I'm bringing in. Okay? They can do all their things. Every time I'm on television, they're like, IQ rating here. Is he here? Is he here? He's here. The trick with me is I've had such a I've done so much shit, I can't really get in trouble. You understand? If I get in trouble, it helps me. I'm not like Mariska, who can't be seen out in the club drinking. You see what I'm saying? I'm Ice-T. I'm a rock star. I can do anything except, like, if they found out I was a Republican or some shit, that would be Other than that, I don't got no problems. So Dick Wolf likes me, but he likes the money I'm bringing in. And the fact that I'm part of a show that makes him a lot of money. And trust me, if that show goes off the air, I probably couldn't get a phone call or talk to the man. That's just how cold the game is. I always say, you got business associates, you got friends. A friend is somebody you can go in their house and open up their refrigerator. Okay? If you can't do that, they're not your friend. Don't get it fucked up. That's the thing. Getting this been, oh, they love me, they love me. They love you because they think you're finna make a lot of money. And if you don't, see you. Okay?
So to get that notice from Dick Wolf, you had to have the quality work already out, and you had to have other people involved who were willing to talk to you and make that connection.
I had to get the
And
record.
say,
I had to have the records. See, because when I started doing movies, there just wasn't enough black actors to make movies. Wesley Snipes had only did Major League. So when they do New Jack City, they're like, well, maybe these artists that have sold a lot of records could be our actors, right? They didn't know if we could act. Me and Chris Rock, we had never been in no movies, but they took that risk. But then people say, oh, well, you got into acting the easy way. I'm like, well, then go sell a few million records then if you want to try to get into acting. if you make yourself known, like my man said, visibility. Who said visibility? If you make yourself known, now you have more eyes on you, more options happen to you. I'm not going to say doing YouTube is a way to get known, though. That's so much craziness on. They got a whole show called Ridiculousness, which is people, you know. And also, I will say, whatever you're trying to get known, try to get the respect that goes along with it. Because right now, a lot of people just want to be known for being stupid, and it don't last long, and it doesn't cash in long. I'm living proof. I've been here 30 years, still in the game, and that comes from swimming upstream and doing everything. But I still am here, and a lot of them people are, you know, don't just any means necessary. No. Try to maintain your integrity. That lasts a lot longer, you know, because she would say, well, not longer than the money. I'm like, yeah, but you could go broke. If you go broke, your integrity can give you another chance. You see what I'm saying? So you just can't take all the money right now, because if you go broke and you're an asshole, you ain't coming back. You know? So, you know, and you will have those moments, you know, like you see us, entertainers and athletes, we make a lot of money, and you always say, oh, they didn't pay their taxes, and they didn't, but that's another class, and how to keep it, but we definitely know how to make the shit, you know what I'm saying? So first you gotta learn how to make it, and then you need somebody to come in and teach you how to hold on to it. That's a whole nother game. But goddamn, man, you can generate a lot of money out here. It's crazy and stuff, and it's hard to hold on to. It's hard for everybody to hold on to. As soon as you get some money, you like trying to buy shit. So much shit you want to buy. I mean, come on, we human, man. Who goes out and wins the lottery and says, I'm going to take 1,000 of this and save all? No, alone with that. Yes, ma'am. I'm just honored.
So what was your process to make yourself the asset, to make Ice-T the brand, so that when you go out to do another project, that project, your new album, your podcast, your Twitter followers, SVU, your character there, those aren't their own brand, and they don't have a life of their own. They all come back to Ice-T as an asset.
I didn't really know what my brand was first. It's not like I started out as a brand. It kind of happened, and people started to tell me what my brand was. And then I started to embellish it more. They said, people like you because you tell the truth, man. They just want to hear it uncut. They want to hear what the streets is really like. You don't lie about it. You don't do the invincible gangster shit. You tell people what it's really like. And that became my brand, like blatant honesty. And I think even when you see me on Law & Order, that's what you expect from Finn. And it was funny, when I was doing the show, they had a backstory for the character. And once again, Dick Wolf called me, and he said, this ain't working. He said, you don't like the cops, do you? I said, cops are human beings. I said, I don't like some of them don't like me. I said, they get up, they have bad days. I said, when I used to break the law, they were the opponent. I never disliked the cops. I just thought I was smarter than the cops. So, you ever see the movie Heat? It's an opponent. Any real live criminal doesn't hate the cops. You're just trying to break the law. You know it's a law. You're going to break it. So why are you mad when you get caught? You did? So I told him, he said, but you agree we need cops. I'm like, yeah, I got friends that need to be locked up right now. And he said, well, play the cop we need. So that's basically who I play on television. I play a cop with Ice-T's sensibilities. You know, the girl was 18, yeah, but she had a fake ID. You know, I put my sensibilities into it. You know, it's not just semantics. It's my reality. If I ended up with a badge, the officers today gave me a badge. I told them I'm gonna get in trouble with this. I'm walking here, I'm waving at the officers up there. They gave me a badge, you know. So, you know, like I tell them now, you know, hey, I was on that side of the law, now I'm on this side of the law. Square as a pool table twice as green. I wouldn't steal a nickel off the mantelpiece. I gave up that career. It doesn't pay. But I don't know where my brand really came from, but I'm aware of it now. And I'm aware that, you know, whether I write a book, I think people are in it for my adventures, but they're in it for honesty. You know, like people that follow me on Twitter, they go for the daily gain. They want to know, you know, what it took for me. Because the thing of it is what makes me, I guess what's interesting to y'all about me is, you know, I came from nothing. You know, home, I'm an orphan. You know, I don't have a family. No one gave me any money. So that's interesting. You don't go and pick a guy out to teach you in a gym, a trainer that's always been in shape. That doesn't work. Why do I want to listen to you? You've been looking like that since you was 15, motherfucker. I don't care. You're not going to look like that. I want to see the guy that might have been overweight that got himself together. So to see somebody who's so far this way to get this way, that's amazing to people. So, you know, that's my brand.
Does that process help you stay focused on the essentials? Because you're very consistent. Your podcast comes out every 2 weeks. You tweet all of the time. You stay on the essentials of marketing and branding, even though for the audience looking at you, they're saying, oh, you know, he's reached that success.
No, that's just hustler instinct.
Yeah.
That's just that hustler instinct. You know, when I got into the rap game, I had 3 pagers. I was hustling. Like, I'm a psycho hustler. Like, I don't understand, like, if I don't make money every day, I get physically sick. Because I just know I got to keep producing. I got to keep creating. I remember this scene in Smokey and the Bandit, and homie got in there, and Burt Reynolds, and he ripped the rearview mirror off, you know? That's kind of like how I am. It's like, I can't worry about what people are stealing from me. I can't worry about what people are ripping off, because I'm so constantly just coming up with new stuff. And I'm pulling people in that got good ideas and just keeping it running. And I mean, who would think I'd even be acting? So, you know, you have to take those opportunities as they come and just maximize it, but it all breaks down to a work ethic. Like my man said, if you're willing to work extra, if you're willing to bust your ass, it can happen, you know, but don't get your ego in this shit. You know, like I always say, if I'm sitting in a restaurant, me and my man, reporter, we sitting at the restaurant, and a guy walks up to us and he says, man, I shouldn't be here, you know. I'm bigger than this. I should be working with you guys. And then there's another guy over there in the corner with a toothbrush cleaning the floor. Who are we going to hire? You know, not this person that has this ego about himself. It's the person that we know is going to get some work in. And if I give you an opportunity, my manager, when I got with him, he didn't have a car. He used to catch the bus in from Riverside every day and walk from place to place to help get me a gig. And he would bust his ass. And I never forget, I said, man, if I could get this dude a car, he'll be a monster. Because I see his get down. He's crazy. Sure enough, I bought him a Mercedes-Benz. I called him up. I said, George, did you wash your car? He said, I used to wash my car. I put soap and water all over my body. And I said, those people are going to win. You You got to be willing to bust your ass. And one other thing I wanted to say, too, I was thinking back here. You're not going to win instantly. It's going to take time. People want what I have now. It took me 30, 40 years to get to where I'm at. You know, a lot of losses, a lot of failures. Because on the internet things happen overnight, people think that's how it's going to. No, it's got to happen. It might take 10 years. It might take 15 years. But I got news for you. Whenever it happens, it's going to be right on time. Whenever it happens, I don't care if you're 85 and you get that money, you're going to be that flyest motherfucker in the motherfucker. It's going to be time, Jack. It don't matter when it happens. It doesn't have to happen right now. It just has to happen. You know? Pace yourself. Don't trip if it doesn't happen right away. Don't trip.
Is it that same motivation that leads you to diversify what you're doing? Always looking for the next thing, looking at different areas within media and entertainment to move to?
Well, the options are just coming more to me because now I am somebody who has a little bit of visibility, but no, it really is my fear of failure. It's my fear of being broke or having something happen to me or something. I have a deep fear of not being able to physically do things. Because most of my money is generated by me on the stage, me in front of the camera, me personally getting up. What happens if I can't get up? What happens if something happens to me in my physical? What kind of money do I have happening without me actually working? Not much. Not much. Everything pretty much happens when I move. I'm right here. I couldn't phone this in. You see? So there's a fear of what happens. But, you know, that's why. But I counter that fear by staying in shape, staying healthy. I mean, I know what my commodity is. I know it's me. So I got to make sure I stay on point. I don't get no DUIs. I don't go to jail. I don't kill none of these hating-ass motherfuckers out here. You know, I got to stay focused because if something happens to me, it all goes down.
And that could be true of any entrepreneur. If they're sacrificing themselves and tearing themselves apart every day, they're not going to be able to make it over the long haul. They're not going to have a 30-year career if they're not
Remain
taking
calm.
care of themselves.
Remain calm. The main thing is not to panic. The main thing is have belief in yourself that what your idea is a good one. Surround yourself with people that you feel are smart, you know, and it's just like a movement. I call it robbing the bank. You got to have a movement, you know. You definitely got to connect yourself with people you feel are wise and intelligent and on the same channel as you, and have that work ethic that are trying to really push. It's difficult. What you want is this dream business and this dream thing. And if it was that easy, everybody'd have one. It's difficult. You know, it's difficult. It's like, you know, look up in the air and you see all the stars in the sky. You know, to shine amongst those stars is difficult. You know? Question? Did you put your hand up, man? No? No, who did? No. Okay.
We have one
more question.
One more question. Let me take that.
Okay.
You touched on it already, but the concept of not getting comfortable. So it doesn't matter where you're at in your career, where your business is getting, what kind of attention that you're getting. If you slow down and get comfortable with that pace, it's gonna disappear.
The big mistake is when you get to the top, you pause. When you get to the top, that's when you gotta push. At the peak, that's when you push. You gotta, you know, that's when you jump to that next level. Somebody said, well, it gets harder. I'm like, yeah, well, just like video games, you leveled up. You know, when you get to the next level, it is gonna be difficult. But you gotta push. Like, I'll put a good example. Say I drop a record and people are talking about it. Okay, that might not be the time to talk about all the things I want, right? But the moment that record starts to peak out and it's hot, that's when you say, yeah, you know, I'm thinking about doing a movie. I want to, you know, you got to know when you peak out, that's when you start asking for stuff. And I call it planting seeds. Like, say shit that you're thinking about doing that you wish you were doing. You know, I mean, I was thinking about, you know, I'm just looking for people, you know, we're trying to start a film production company. I was thinking, that's bullshit. I wasn't. But if you call me, I was. You see what I'm saying? So when you start to, like, see opportunities out there for you, but you got to do it at that moment when you're at the top. That's when you jump off. You know, what they say about, there's a term about it, you know, where you just can't, don't rest on your laurels. You know, you just got to keep doing it. I mean, you know, Janet Jackson said, what'd you do last, what'd you do for me last year, what you done for me lately? It's like you're only as big as your last hit. I can't be walking around with my Colors Gold album talking about, yo, Colors, you know. So y'all want to know what I did last week. And the only reason I'm here is because I think is because I'm one of the people that have managed to achieve I'm not Donald Trump, a relative amount of success and maintain it. It's difficult though, and you know, and humble yourself to this game, man. You know, like my man said, I say life is like a gymnasium. If you look to your left, you always see someone in better shape. If you look to your right, you'll see someone who would die to be in your position. So just be happy with who you are and where you are. Just try to benefit, work yourself. Don't get caught up. People will always try to make you feel bad. Oh, Ice, you ain't puffy. Just shut the fuck up. Like, you ain't me, nigga. Like, there will always be somebody, you know, and just say, you know, if you could do 100 push-ups and I could do 50, all I got to do is learn how to do 55. I'm not competing with you. I'm competing with me. That's who you're competing with, you know. And if you concentrate on that, you'll come up with a great product, and people will want to be involved with it, and they'll feel you. Question?
We're ready. So we want to first